Hey everyone, I'm Emily and this is Emmylou Arts, and today I got kind of a wild hair, so hang on. I decided to try some actual watercolor painting rather than just plopping colors, which is what I am used to doing. So get out your paints and let's try and do something fun, or at least interesting. I will guarantee it'll be interesting. I found somebody on YouTube called Emma Lefebvre, and she's amazing at watercolors and makes it sound so easy. So I'm gonna link her tutorial below and let's have some fun. So like I mentioned before, this tutorial was called, I think it was called Layered Floral Frame or something along those lines. I can't be bothered to actually look. Oh, sorry, there's my hair straight out of bed. That's gross. And so what she did was lay down painter's tape in a square on a big piece of paper. But I wanted to do it in my little watercolor book because I got this paper from the Arteza people. They gave me these wonderful mixed media watercolor books, and I wanted to try watercoloring on the actual beautiful paper. So I made a little frame, and the point is that there's Addie, my forever sidekick down there, that you can sort of make this perfectly crisp little frame that you can then, use as a frame, write stuff or do a quote. My idea was to do a quote in the middle. And I highly suggest that you go and refer to her tutorial because she actually is good. So the basic idea that I gleaned from her video was that you lay down layers and you just do one layer at a time of each color. And then you let it dry completely in between each color. I was consulting my color chart, my swatches. That still makes me like unreasonably happy to look at. You lay down one layer at a time, and I'm doing petals, just like she did in her tutorial, petals and leaves. And then you let it dry completely in between. And then when you add a second layer, you can see the layers kind of on top of each other. And I liked this because it looked doable. A lot of the stuff that she does just seems, she explains it very easily and it seems very doable. Now, as you can see, I am not an artist, and so my selection of colors probably leaves something to be desired. I'm not sure they exactly all mesh well together, but I just wanted to try. I just wanted to try this basic idea. So in that quick little jump, you won't see in between, but I laid, before I'm going in with the second layer of leaves and stuff, I made sure that it was completely dried. I held it in front of my space heater. You can actually use a little, dryer thing. But my space heater and I have become, it's like my art supply, my giant art supply. And so anyways, they sell heat guns, which, might be easier, but who am I to go for the easy thing? So,
actually, that's exactly what I do all the time. Never mind.
Yes, I let it dry, and now I'm doing this second layer. And I can't remember if she chose the same color or differing shades in her layers, but I decided to choose differing shades. So I'm just adding leaves and petals to the basic, what I had before. But you can see that you can still sort of see the layer underneath of the previous petal. Like, I picked a dark color, so I think if I probably would have picked the same color, you would have been able to see the layer more. And I think in her tutorial, she might use the same color, and then it's really apparent, and then it looks better. But, I was just doing me, for better or for worse, and decided to, choose different shades of colors to layer. And you can sort of see it in the green, but I really like the colors. I don't know if it worked so well for this layering effect, but that was the basic idea anyway. And you have to make sure that you, like I said, let each layer dry completely. And then make sure you kind of overlap on your little border as well, so that it's not just like you're painting around that tape, that you actually kind of paint onto the tape, and then it kind of makes the impression that it's like a border around. I don't know, never mind. I don't know. So then I decided to get real wild and throw in orange. Like, I know, you guys, it's kind of a hot mess, but I don't know, I like it. It's just, I don't know. So, I think this was called a light cadmium red or something. I'm not down in my art room. I'm actually laying in bed doing this tutorial because that's how I roll. So anyways, there's not really much more I can say about this this trickery. It's basically that. You just add layers, let it dry, add more layers. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And if you go and watch, Emma, I'm not even going to attempt it. Somebody tell me if you know how to say her last name. I have no idea. There's a lot of consonants and vowels, and I guess all words have a lot of consonants and vowels, but anyway, it's not in an order that makes sense to my brain, so I am not sure how to say it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Letting it dry, adding more layers, letting it dry. And I could have done more, but in the background, what you can't tell is that mayhem was breaking loose. Absolute mayhem. So I, just did what I could do, and then went to go, murder somebody. No, I didn't. I probably went to lay in my bed just like I am now. Oh, Lord. So school starts next week for us, you guys, and my mom heart is happy, and I hate to admit that, but just this point in the summer, we get a little punchy. And by we, I mean me. I turn into a very Jekyll and Hyde mom. I'm very cool one minute, and then it doesn't take a lot for me to snap. And then all of a sudden, I've realized I have totally flown the mental coop over something completely ridiculous. So if anyone else is feeling this way, well, you're not alone. You are not alone. And we just got our school letters in the mail yesterday telling, which teachers the kids have. And I don't know why, you guys, this gives me an unreasonable amount of anxiety. I feel like it's me. I feel like it's me figuring out who their teacher is and if I'm going to be with my friends all year.
Oh my god, am I gonna see my friends at all?
It's like my kids could probably care less, but I'm the one that's like, oh no, who are they going to have? What if they're not with their friends? I don't even know, you guys. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. So there's the thing. And then I actually used some of my Dilution sprays. They're like shimmery. And I sprayed those over it because somebody had reminded me. I'm so sorry that I always call somebody that tells me something in the comments somebody. I need to look up your name again, and I just am too lazy to do that. So a very kind soul reminded me of like ink sprays and like the daubers and all that kind of stuff. And I had forgotten about my ink sprays that were conveniently located behind me. And so I decided to use one of those shimmery ones. And in person, it looks pretty. It looks shimmery. And I realize on camera, you can't tell that at all. It just looks kind of muddy and not fancy at all. But in real life, there's like a pearly shimmer kind of on it. So I was happy with that. And those are fun to play with. I used to use them in my like actual art journaling a lot more, and that's why I've been kind of missing doing stuff like this, art journaling, because I haven't been using those kind of supplies. It's hard to use ink sprays in my journal because A, they're really messy, like it's a spray, so it kind of gets on everything unless you're real careful, and that's not my middle name. So I decided to do a quote. And I really like doing quotes because I can sort of practice my janky hand lettering, and then, it's sort of inspiring to me, I guess. So I laid it out in pencil first because it's been a hot minute since I've tried to do something like this, and I didn't want to mess it up. I mean, not that it turned out perfectly, but, it's all right. So I found, just an anonymous quote on Pinterest. Well, actually, I think it did have a name, but then when I wrote it out, I didn't have time, or I didn't have room in it to say who it was by, so sorry for whoever said this. What does it say? In an endless field of flowers, I'll always pick you, or something like that. It's in front of me, but in my voiceover mode, I can't see what I'm doing when I'm editing, so like I said, laying in bed, very lazy, sorry. You can read, I hope. So now I'm just using one of my, it's a hand lettering pen, and it's kind of old, and I can't remember what type it is. I have no idea. It's from Michaels, and it came in a set. It might be Tombow brand. I can't remember. But anyways, in my stupid style of, cheatery, I just thicken up that downstroke, and then I borrowed a pencil from my daughter, who is conveniently waving her hand everywhere, and I'm just erasing my pencil marks. I had a lot of fun with this. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!